Hey, Autumn Athletes, Larry Sorensen here, and today we're going to connect with Mike Braun. Mike, so happy to get a chance to sit and connect with you and talk a little bit and find out what's happening in your fitness journey and what makes you an Autumn athlete that's not done yet. So why don't you kick us off with your bio basics?
All right, my real name is Merle Braun, but I go by Mike. Now I am 80 years old. I've got four kids, and they're all happily married. We have a family get together, and there's probably 34, 36 of us for Christmas. Great, great, fantastic family. I really am very, very proud of them.
Are you still married?
Absolutely. After 60 years, same woman. 60 years, she'll go right straight to heaven, Larry. Straight to heaven. So I got lots of grandkids and great grandkids hanging around, and I love it. Absolutely look forward to every Sunday. We usually go out to breakfast on Sunday mornings after Mass.
How about your career?
I worked for General Motors. When I was 17 when I graduated, and I applied for a job at General Motors. I had to wait till September because I graduated in June and waited till September to get my job because I you had to be 18. And thank God for General Motors because Larry, I was very, very poor when I was growing up. My dad died when I was 6 years old, and my mother worked in a laundromat. Uh, all my growing up years from 6 years old on up, and all I had to do, the reason how I got so in depth into sports was because I didn't have to be to bed or home until 9 o'clock at night. So I kind of ran the streets at night, but thank God I got involved with two Beardsley brothers who had the same situation I did. They kind of were like big brothers to me. They were 3 and 4 years older than I was, and they were valedictorian at Everett High School. And they got me into sports, playing sports. Larry, I would not trade my life for anybody's because I didn't have any discipline. I pretty much disciplined myself, but it would have been easy to get into drugs. But thank God for sports. Softball, I'd get up on a Sunday morning. I'd get up in the morning in the summertime and ride my bicycle about 2 miles to 3 miles away to play baseball. Get done playing baseball. Then I would go over and play at Johnson's Court basketball. And I'd play for a couple hours there and then go to the Everett playground and play horseshoes and softball in the evening. Never eating at all. And later on, probably when I was in about the fifth grade, my white corpuscles were eating my red corpuscles because I wasn't eating healthy. And it caused me major league problems. I was in the hospital for about 6 days, and I think they transferred me blood. I know when I was a kid, you had a little yellow tag that said I was an ARHD plus. And I don't know if I'm that anymore or not. I don't know if they exchanged blood when I was having all that problems in the hospital, but I think I'm a negative now. I don't know, but I probably should ask them when I go to the hospital next time. But that's a story of my growing up era that I just had a major league problem eating correctly.
Sure.
I'm 5'7". I weigh about 160 pounds, and that's about what I grew up. When I graduated from high school, I was 5'7" and only weighed 129 pounds. So I was kind of a lightweight all my life until I got married and had sound 3 square meals a day.
So tell us a little bit about your fitness journey and how you got started with fitness back when you were a youngster.
Larry, I really didn't have a good fitness program. Because of no education went along with that, so I didn't really follow any regiment of what I should eat and so forth. And I used to skip catechism but my mother found out about it to play sports. I skip catechism on Saturday. So she said, by God, you're going to get your religion somewhere. So I lived in the south end of Lansing, and I had to travel about 6 to 8 miles every day to school on a city bus. They didn't have buses back in them days to pick you up and drop you off. And so I went all the way across downtown to get to school. And therefore I couldn't play sports because I would get out of school at 3:30 and your sports would start about 4:30. And if I played sports, I wouldn't get home until about 8 o'clock at night. So it really, I hated high school. I hated high school because of that regimentation of not having food regularly. And again, all the way through my whole through till I got married, I didn't eat very good meals. In fact, my wife, that's one of her complaints, is that I used to not like any of the food that she cooked because it was more often than I used to eat.
You started to talk a little bit about your career at GM. Tell us, what did you do at GM?
Worked on the assembly line for about almost a year. And a guy that I knew said, Mike, what the heck are you doing working on the line? He said, you're a lot more intelligent than that. Well, that was a nice thing for him to say because I didn't know I was dumber than a box of rocks. But I was very good in math. And so he said, well, why don't you apply for the job of timekeeper? I said, I don't even know what a timekeeper is. He said, well, they're the ones that pay you. You punch a clock and you put the hours on the time card and they match it up, and that's how you get paid. So I said, well, I'm pretty good at math. I'll go for that. So I went and applied for the job, and 2 weeks later, I got the job. So I was there for 23 years, and they did away with the time office with punching cards. So I went into fire maintenance for about a year. And then the union come to me after that and said, Mike, we want you to work for the union. I said, I've always treated the union as an insurance policy, not as something that I really need, because I was never ever disciplined and so forth. I always knew the value of my job. And so I said, I don't know what you're getting at. They said, well, we want you to work with the engineers in the design studio at General Motors. So it was a fantastic. I was on that job for 16 years. Altogether, I was at General Motors for 44 years. And I loved it. I absolutely loved the job. And I also was a bowling instructor. I had 2 jobs all my life, 30 years of being a bowling instructor at Lansing Community College. And that's how I really became a much, much better bowler.
Well, now that you've mentioned bowling,
yeah,
let's start talking a little bit about bowling. So let's start out with, I'm going to give you a chance to kind of brag a little bit and give the audience an idea of the caliber of bowler that you are. So tell us about some of your highlights.
Okay, I've had 113 300 games. I've had 28 800 series. My high series was 868. If you look in my name up in the USBC bowling records in a 4-game series, I'm the 6th highest ever, including the pros of all time. With I had a 300, 279, 289, 300. So I shot at 3 10-pins for the 4-game series. That was done when I was 74 years old. I've won 3 state titles in bowling, 3 state titles in softball, fast pitch softball. I'm a fast pitch pitcher. In fact, I was inducted with a guy named Johnson. His last name is Johnson. I think they call him Magic Johnson. You probably never heard of him, but it's quite an honor to be inducted with him. I've had 6 no-hitters, 1 perfect game, and I one game I had 16 strikeouts, Larry, 16 out of 21 outs. But I found out that I was kind of huffy puffy. I thought I was pretty good. Come to find out, it was a slow pitch team that got into a fast pitch tournament. All they did, they picked up a fast pitch pitcher, and they thought they could hit fast pitch pitching. So it kind of blew my wind right out of my sails when I found out they were slow pitch players.
What's your regimen now? Like, what do you do for? Obviously, you're still bowling. Do you do any kind of training or anything for your bowling? What do you
Well,
do to keep yourself going at this point?
it really helped, Larry, to be the bowling instructor, because I would be telling them what to do, and I said, "Hell, I ain't even doing that myself." So I would correct myself a lot. And I bowl 4 days a week right now during the winter time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all in the afternoon. In fact, if it wasn't for the senior leagues, uh, Lansing probably wouldn't have a bowling center, because the leagues are all filled up, 60 lanes of senior bowlers.
Are you still coaching and instructing?
I coach a lot. I got a couple of girls that I got them scholarships to Olivet College and to LCC and so forth. But I don't charge anything anymore. It was a great opportunity for me to make some extra money. I love helping people out. I just think it's. In fact, somebody wrote in there in the paper the other day that I was helping somebody else, and I was bowling against them, and I was helping the team. I didn't care if they're suffering. I don't want to see anybody suffer. I know what it is like when I'm suffering, so I want them to bowl good.
Yeah, I think I saw that in one of the comments. Someone said Mike's the only guy that will help coach and instruct you while he's bowling against you and beating you. I thought that
Yeah,
was pretty
that's
funny.
true story. I love people. The only thing I like better than people, Larry, are dogs. I think dogs are fantastic animals. They just are giving and forgiving, and they'll lick your hand no matter what. They are fantastic. Jason reminded me, my son reminded me that my high average was 237. I've been on the all city team 25 times in a row, even now. Last year was the first year I didn't make it at 80 years old. I was a sixth man. So it was kind of disappointing. I'm hoping to make it this year. I averaged 219 this year. And last year too. I had 5 300s last year and only one this year. So old age is setting in, Larry.
Now you're also in a couple of Hall of Fames as well, right?
I'm in 3 Halls of Fame. I'm in the Lansing Bowling Hall of Fame, Lansing Area Bowling Hall of Fame, the Sports Hall of Fame. That's when I'm with Magic Johnson in. And then I'm also in the state of Michigan Bowling Hall of Fame.
What's your approach to diet and nutrition at this point?
No, I'm more concerned of my heart. I've had a triple bypass in 13 years ago. I had a triple bypass. In fact, I came after my Widowmaker. I had 97% blockage on my Widowmaker. They said told my wife, they were very surprised that if I'd have been shoveling the snow in the wintertime, she'd have found me in the snowbank dead. That's how bad it was. And then now I got kidney. Like I said, I'm at 27% functioning on my kidney. And so I have to watch, and I don't, still not very good with food. I eat more salads than I ever ate in my life. And I probably lived the first 65 years without eating any salads. I never liked salads. I said that's for rabbits, but I found out it's not bad if you put the right topping on it. So, but water is essential. Water is the key for me. Every time I bowl, I got a glass of water right there with me. In fact, I always get a cup of coffee at the same time. I said the coffee's for me, the water's for my health.
So what keeps you motivated today to keep you going?
I'd like to stay on the all city team as much as I can. Lansing was a great bowling city. It's been a great bowling city, and it's an honor to be one of the top five in the city of Lansing, to be on the all city team. So that's one of the motivations. I guess I just look forward to seeing my friends every day that I bowl. It's like I can't tell you how important my friends are at the bowling center. It's like old folks week every day when you're there. Everybody's greetings to everybody. Back in the old days, back in the 70s and the 80s, there was a lot of jealousy among the good bowlers. Everybody wanted to be. In fact, they would bone up, get the best player. They might drop a guy for a 5 pins higher average, drop you and pick up somebody else for 5 pins. And it's not that way in the senior leagues now. They're all, everybody's happy for you.
Well, I can definitely tell from the response when I put it out there looking for a bowler, for an automathlete bowler, there was a pretty overwhelming response that folks recommended you for it. So you definitely have some friends out there.
It is nice. It's nice to be loved and cared for, and especially when you're 80 years old, you don't know when your last breath is. And I hope there's 10 years from now, but who knows? Who knows? And just got to prepare yourself.
So what would you say, if you've got one, what's your secret sauce to health and fitness and just staying active and continuing to do as well as you're doing at 80 years old?
Bowl as much as you can, or if you're in golf as much as you can. Do whatever you can while you can do it. I'll tell you, that's my secret sauce. I like to be gone. My wife says, don't you ever stay home. And I see people at the bowling alley and they say, you're here more than we are that work there. But being around people is so important. It's such a sauce. That's the key. My bowling teammates are fantastic. I got the best teams. I got a bowling shirt on. My sponsors are essential.
Well, Mike, I got to say, I really appreciate you spending some time with us, letting us know what makes you an automathlete that's not done yet. I want to close this up here by just giving you the floor to really tell us anything you want to tell us in closing.
Like I said, it's old folks week. Every week, every day I go there, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it is a blast. It is nice to see people that aren't related to you and be welcomed, and they really welcome you.
There you go, automathletes. Mike Braun, still knocking the pins down, still firing that fast pitch. We wish you the best as you continue your athletic endeavors, Mike. Thanks again for joining us. Automathletes, Larry Sorensen here. Please remember to like, subscribe, and ding that bell for notifications, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, Larry. I certainly appreciate everything you've done.